This call is now being recorded.
Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yes.
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 Very good. In this chapter, we have discussed last topic was administration of Rajput era. Here, we have discussed during the Rajput rule, king was everything. King's decision was final. But he appointed ministers, we can call samantas, for different purpose. Other side, at the village level, there was a sarpanch who provide justice to the people. But the final decision was in the hands of king. In short, we can say king was everything. It might be possible that king would think his own interest or he will prefer his own interest more than people welfare or public welfare. Now we are moving towards our topic trade and commerce. Yes, Bhimji and Niva
Yes.
start reading.
In the Rajput era, there was no separate departments to observe trade system. The department used to arrange for collection of duty on trade about valuation of goods and ordering of useful items in the state. The main tax was one-sixth of the land yield. In the Rajput era, land tax was known as bhag. Even today, taxes are levied on land. Taxes were levied on ports and on irrigation.
Yeah, during the Rajput time, there were limited department. Means for the trade and commerce, there was not any other separate department. The collection of tax, ordering goods from abroad, everything was managed by different people. The main tax during the time it was land tax. We call it land revenue. If you are a farmer, some of you may be farmer at your home. Sometimes they are talking about vikoti. વિખોટી ભરવાની બાકી છે. That is land tax. In past, whatever the total production in the farm, 6 part means divided by 6, whatever is remain, it should be paid as tax to the king. During the time, this tax was known as bhag. It is called land tax. On port and irrigation, taxes were also taken from the kings. Next slide, we will read. Yes, I got the name Puruswani Kresa.
Yes, sir. At the time, the ports of Gujarat's
Ambitirtha.
Stambhatirtha, Khambat, and Bhagukach, Bharuch were known for overseas trade.
Yeah, during the time, means during the Rajput era, there were two major ports in Gujarat. Today's Bharuch and Khambat. Khambat was known as Tambtirtha and Bharuch, it was known as Bhagu By these two ports, international trade was going on in Gujarat. Means from the past, early past, we were involved in international trade. Next slide, foreign attack. During the time, Rajput rulers fought among one another and tried to expand their territories. But then after, foreign invaders came to India. First of all, they came here to rob. They attack, defeat the king, rob king, temples, etc., and went back. What happened? We are going with this. Ganatra Nishtha.
Yes. India was invaded by Muslims during the 8th to 12th centuries. In the 8th century, Muhammad ibn
Qasim.
Ibn Qasim invaded the northwestern part of India with the aim of expanding the Arab kingdom from the northwest corner. The army of Sa- um,
Sabuktigin.
Sabuktigin invaded. These invaders could not establish state power in India at that time. After that, Sultan Muhammad Ghazni of Ghazni attacked India in AD 1000 to 1206 AD to rob.
Yeah. India was invaded by Arab Muslims between 8th to 12th century. We faced many attacks. Muhammad ibn Qasim, who invaded from the northwest, means near Punjab and Haryana side. But he could not expand his state or ruled over India. Then these invaders, after that, Sultan Muhammad Ghazni, he was from Ghazni. He attacked India between 10,000 to 1006. Here is 1206, typing error, 1006. Okay, sorry, 1026 to rob India. Next one, Sarvaya Jai.
Yes,
When slide present, start reading.
okay.
Yeah,
He used to make one attack after another, and each time he became stronger and fell on India. At this time, the rulers of India could not unite and perform a powerful army. As a result, in 1026, he robbed the property of Somnath. The Indian rulers forgot about the previous invasions.
as we have just discussed. He used to make attack one after another. Means one attack after few days, few months and years, again next attack. He came in India, robbed India, and returned back. As a result, in 1026, he robbed Somnath. But Indian ruler forget the invention and rebuilt Somnath. Even though they did not get together, they did not support one another. And this way, foreign invaders took the advantage of weakness of Rajputs. Next, Mehta Om.
Yes, sir. After
Continue.
the death of Muhammad Ghazi, the line of
Continue.
power is contained in Ghazi, but when power in the sub-
Stabilize.
or rulers could not take advantage of the weakness is continuing.
Consequently, Sabuddin Ghori. Yes, consequently, Sabuddin Ghori. Yeah, he may be left for some errors. Makwana Misbah.
Yes, sir.
Read from the beginning.
Okay. After the death of Muhammad Ghazi, the line for the power continued in Ghazi. But when the power did not establish or rule, could not take an advice of this weakness. Continuously
Sahabuddin Gori did this at the end of the 20th century. Until he had to endure some time. At last, he defeated Prithviraj Chauhan in the Battle of Tani and established Delhi Sultanate.
Delhi Sultanate. After the death of Muhammad Ghazni, as we have just discussed, Muhammad Ghazni attacked one by another. But after his death, there was no any strong or powerful ruler, and so that his kingdom was not stabilized. Here, Rajput rulers of India could not get the advantage of the weakness. Then after, Sabuddin Gori, who could control the kingdom, and at the end of 12th century, he attacked on India. During the time, last emperor of India, Prithviraj Chauhan, as we heard many things about it. He was defeated in the Battle of Karai, and thus Delhi Sultanate was established. Why Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated? First thing was he could not prepare properly. Second thing was Rajput rulers did not support him, and that is why Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated. Then Delhi Sultanate or Sultanate age started in India. Now we are moving towards exercise. First one is answer the following question in short. If you can answer without my presentation, that is good. Who has constructed Rani Ki Vav? Yes, both Drashti. Okay, I am presenting the answer. Read question and answer both. Start reading. Both Drashti. Okay, then next one. Jimjiani Niva.
Sir, your screen was not coming, that's why.
No problem.
Yes.
Jimjiani Niva.
Who has constructed Rani Ki Vav? Rani Ki Vav or Ranki Vav is a step well situated in Patan in Gujarat. It is located on the banks of Saraswati River. It has been constructed by Queen Udayamati, wife of Bhimdev Solanki, in
Good.
7th century.
Very good. Rani Ki Vav. You need to remember one word. Queen Udaymati. Rani Ki Vav, also known as Ran Ki Vav. It is in Patan, near the bank of river Saraswati. Constructed by Queen Udaymati. Queen Udaymati was wife of Bhimdev Solanki. And Rani Ki Vav was constructed in 11th century. Next one, who will read question and answer? I can see only one name, Purushwani Kresa, then Jani Palak.
Yes, sir.
Continue, beta.
Okay, sir. Second, where did the rulers of Chauhan dynasty entirely rule? Answer. The rulers of Chauhan or Chahman dynasty ruled over the regions of Gujarat and Rajasthan
Initially. Initially means at the beginning.
Okay.
Chauhan dynasty ruled some region of Gujarat and Rajasthan. Very good. Next question. Okay, both Drashti, if you are ready, then read. Third question.
Okay, sir.
Start reading.
Who founded Anihalwad Patan?
In Anhilwad.
Anilwad Patan. Vanraj Chawda recaptured his kingdom in 756 AD. He founded a new capital, Anilwad Patan to honor his friend Anil Anil
Bharwad,
who helped him to recapture his kingdom.
very good. Who founded Anhilwat Patan? Vanraj Chawla. He recaptured his kingdom in 1756. But in the war, he found his capital was destroyed. And so that he established a new city, means new capital, Anhilwat Patan. During the war, his friend Anhil Bharwad, who helped him to recapture his kingdom, and therefore, to honor his friend, he gave the name Anhilwad Patan. Jagar Dipesh.
Yes, sir.
Continue, beta.
Yes. Who was the last ruler of Vadela dynasty? Vadela dynasty. Karandev Vaghela was the last ruler of Vaghela dynasty who was defeated by Delhi's Sultanate in 1304 AD.
Very good. Karandev Vaghela. As we know, he was the last Rajput ruler of Gujarat, last ruler of Vaghela dynasty, and he was defeated by Delhi Sultanate in 1304. This way, first question is over. Now, we are moving towards second question. It is short note. Asnani Keya. Short note 1. Qualities of Rajput. Asnani Keya will read.
Yes. Qualities of Rajputs. Rajputs were brave and determined. They never escaped from the battlefield. They preferred Kesaria in the battlefield when they realized they would not win. Rajput women were also brave and sent their husband, brothers, and son in the battlefield with smiling face. They preferred Johar to protect their chastity.
Yeah, Rajput, qualities of Rajput. As we know, they were brave. Even today, they are brave. Determined. When they give some promise, when they decide something. You have seen the film Wanted, Salman Khan. एक बार मैंने commitment कर ली. He is speaking like something. Rajputs were the same. Once they decide, once they give promise, they fulfill it anyhow. They never escaped from the battlefield. Means they were fearless. They were ready to die. Here you can see they prefer Kesaria. Kesaria means when Rajput lost the hope to win in the battlefield. At that time, they tied a kesari or saffron turban on the head and involved in war. They knew that they would die, though they involved in war, but never escape from the battlefield. That is called Kesaria. Perhaps you have seen the movie Kesari. But there were only a few Sikhs. They tied up saffron turban and fought with about 10,000 soldiers. They were not even a 50. They were less than 50. But they fought. That is called Kesaria. Similarly, Rajput women, they were also brave. When it is time for war, they send their husband, brother and son with smiling face. And they prefer Johar to protect their chastity. Perhaps you have seen the movie Padmavat. When Ratan Singh was defeated at that time, Queen Padmavat and many of her companions jumped into the fire and lost their life to protect their chastity. Thus, Rajput male as well as female were so brave and determined. Next one, next short note, trade and commerce in Rajput era. Before that, my question is, any question from your side?
No, sir.
Very good. Okay, a short note will be, who will read? Yeah, Ganatra Nishtha.
Yes.
Read the short note when it will present the answer. You can start reading.
In the Rajput era, there was no separate department to oversee the
Oversee.
trade. Okay. The trade system, the department used to arrange for collection of duty on trade abroad, valuation of goods, and ordering of useful items. In the state, the main tax was 1/6 of the land yield. In the Rajput era, land tax was known as bhag. Taxes were levied on ports and on irrigation. At this time, the ports of Gujarat,
Sambatit.
Stambhatirtha, Khambat, and Bhagu Bharuch were known for overseas trade.
Yeah. As we have just discussed in explanation, there was no separate department for trade or overseas trade. The department used to arrange the collection of duty for the trade abroad. Abroad means out of country, international trade, on related to the valuation of goods. They also order necessary goods or things from abroad. Main tax was land revenue. It is 1/6 of the land or total production of the land. This tax, it was known as Bhag. The taxes were levied on ports and irrigation. Means these two kinds of tax were also there. Here, during that time, in Gujarat, there were two major ports, Khambat and Bharuch. Khambat, it was known as Stambh Tirtha, and Bharuch, which was known as Bhagu Kacha during the time for the overseas, means international trade. Now, next question is, answer the following question. Here, there are 4 questions. Then after, choose the correct option, 5 questions, and make the following. These 3 questions we will discuss in the next period. Now we are moving towards